Hey, what's up, everybody? Jay here. So, I want to talk about something really quickly. And yes, we're staying in this Snyderverse scenario here. You know, this situation we have going on with the purchase of WB, Discovery, and all this stuff. Um, in my algorithm, the Lethal Geeks, I believe it is, popped into my algorithm today. And I watched the video, and the first video I watched it was actually pretty good. It was the most recent one. I believe he calls itself Murtaugh. Um, it was a good video. He spoke about the Snyderverse, wanting it back. He didn't do it with a lot of venom and a lot of vitriol. It was very cool. You know what I mean? I was sitting there watching. I was like, okay, I can see some of his points. And then I went back and I watched some other videos on their channel. You know, and hey, kudos to them. They do good content. Um, but I noticed something. He was speaking about the ages of the characters going into this, saying that, Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck point out their ages, how Ben Affleck is, I believe, 55 and Henry Cavill is 43, and how that relates to the characters in the Marvel movies and the ages they are, specifically Deadpool versus Wolverine, how Wolverine is, and how Ryan Reynolds is 49, he's playing Deadpool, things of this nature. Now, let me point something out and retort to that. Two things. Ryan Reynolds is 49 playing Deadpool. This is true. But this was his third Deadpool movie in concession, directly, which is why it's unknown if he's going to be in Doomsday. He'll probably be in Secret Wars, but you don't hear a lot about Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool after that. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Took him forever to get to this, to do Wolverine and Deadpool Wolverine. He'll probably be in one of the other movies to pass it on the baton to the next. Then he brought up Wesley Snipes, Jennifer Garner, how old they are in their roles, which is true. They are of an advanced age. They have very small parts in a movie. These are not full movies of theirs. This is not a franchise. Even Hugh Jackman, he's a part of the movie. He was a main character, he's a co-lead, but it wasn't his movie. I said it to say this. They're talking about bringing the Snyderverse back and having these characters back. Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, the whole crew, which is problematic itself because will we get Ray Fisher back? Probably not. Have you seen Ray Fisher really do anything since playing Cyborg? No. Are we going to get Ezra Miller back with his legal issues that he had, which, that was a big thing for him, even promoting the movie of his own that was from the Snyderverse, which failed miserably. We have Ben Affleck, who, as he pointed out, I believe he said 55. Okay, not a problem. Like you said, RDJ is what, 59, 60, something of that nature. Cool. And then we have Henry Cavill, 43. Here's the problem. Henry Cavill needs to carry this universe as Superman unless he's going to pass the baton. Now, mind you, the studio has not been sold yet. There have been no transactions. This is all in the working phases. They haven't even put in initial offers yet. So 43, let's say they sell it, in a few weeks, a month, or whatever, which is around, get all that stuff in order. Now they had to build the universe. Hey, let's say they Restore the Snyderverse. Here's the thing. It's probably going to be at least 2-3 years before we get a movie. So now Superman is 43, Batman is 58, and just going on and on from there. Also, then you have to line up the schedules with all of the things, the commitments that they will get themselves involved in between that. So we're not going to just go off of their advanced age that they are currently. You have to think about the age then. Also, now, are they going to carry on a franchise? Are we going to get a Batman and a Superman movie at the same time? So, hey, guess what? We got Henry Cavill at 46. He's doing his Superman movie and Batman at the same time. Or is it going to be maybe Superman first to kind of go on, and then Batman a year or two later, which means now we have a 60-year-old Batman, or we're going to do a reverse because Batman is more popular of a character technically. So boom, and then in 2 years we get Henry Cavill at 48. We get 1-2 maybe movies out of him versus the 32-year-old David Corenswet that we have, who already has a movie in his franchise, in his universe, who can carry on this franchise and push it further. A Batman who has not been casted, which you have a variation of people who could be of age to do 5, 6, 7, 8 movies. And I keep saying this, and I don't think people understand it. I think people think that just because you have Snyder, who wants the job, no doubt, wants the job. I would too. I want the job. I want the money. I want to do this. Just because he has the idea and what he wants to do does not mean that's what it's going to be. The Snyderverse that you had, which again failed and was continuously failing, Let me show you something really quickly. Let's take a look at this. Let me ask you a question. Out of these movies, and there's like one on here that's not part of, not technically part of the Snyderverse, maybe two. Which one of these was just, which one's a classic? You can say, Man of Steel. Yes. And I feel that way. That's, like I said, it's one of my favorites. The writing, the characterization in a lot of these movies is treated ash. To say any different makes you disingenuous and a liar. Because, pull it up here. Because when, let me do this again. All right, let me ask you a question. Which of these movies is a classic? Possibly outside of, Man of Steel, which I believe is. Batman v Superman is possibly on the cusp, only because it's the first time that we got the three of them together. All of the writing in a lot of these movies, the characterization, the tone, all sorts of things was just terrible. You guys didn't love Justice League when it first came out. You can sit up there and lie if you want to for your legions of people following you and whatnot, but no, that's not true. It's not. It took for a 4-hour Zack Snyder cut that everybody had to fight for, which really wasn't that great. You had to sit for a 4-hour movie and say, hey, that was decent. Come on now. What I'm saying is, look at all of these things versus just trying to get a moralic win. Say, we fought for something that is here. Because this is what you want again? This is what you want? I would be for if they could make it off of Man of Steel, right? And kind of build from there, but they have to get it going. Henry Cavill's not getting older. Ben Affleck is not getting they're not getting no younger. So let's really look at that. If you're gonna speak about it, speak about it. And it's gonna be a couple of years before then. Like I said, who's to say DC is a priority? Because I personally think something like Harry Potter is a priority. And like I said, Zack and them, they can put all this. They do not own the rights to these characters. So it's just pictures. It's just, it's posturing. That's all it is. Until it's sold, until things are greenlit that they have no control of. You probably will get Zack Snyder, but it might not be Henry Cavill, or it'll be a Henry Cavill that's passing on the baton, or it'll be something of that nature. If you think you're getting this exact thing back, you're wrong. And also, whoever buys WB, trust me, they're not going to let you do the exact same thing that failed before. They're not. They already said Paramount Sundance, if they were to buy it, they want it to be influenced and want it to be more, they have a vision for it, I'll just say, which is being put out there by a certain entity or a certain person, and that automatically alters the vision that you want of the Zack Snyder universe if this person or this entity buys it with the input from this person. I'm not going to say who the person is, but it's politically based. And it's nothing against that person. I'm just saying I don't want to put it out there, but those are the reports. So you're thinking you're going to get an identical universe, and you're not. Now, I'm not saying, I've said, yes, I have said I run with a gun. The reason why is because I like the potential of what it could be. Some of the casting that has been done already, I like. Overall, as a Superman, I like David Cornsweet. I do not like some of the aspects to that Superman or that world. But these are things that can be adjusted, just like they tried to adjust such of a dark tone that they had initially with the Zack Snyder universe that people hated and couldn't stand. The same vitriol you guys have towards that, towards the Superman 2025 is the same vitriol a lot of the same people had towards Zack Snyder's. So that's my whole thing about it. And I'm gonna keep, when I see this, because I'm not understanding, and maybe this is why I like the whole harsh critics thing. Yes, my problem with him was him shooting it down before even seeing it. That is not respectful to me. Give an artist a chance to put the art out. Once it comes out, if you don't like it at that point, then you have every reason to critique it. But before something comes out, to just pan something because it's not what you want, it's so disingenuous and so wrong to that creator. That's just my personal view. I'm not gonna go into that no more. The Lethal Geeks, I liked their perspectives, but I do think they were wrong in their recent video as far as the ages of the characters. Yes, there are advanced ages for characters who are already established, very established, and continuing their series have been in continuance, right? So that's one thing. They are carrying on something. They're not restarting the universe or coming back from years after other iterations have been put in. Those are two completely different things. So those two things do not apply. They do not coincide. And also, it's a different scenario altogether. So that's why I wanted to do this video. I just kind of threw the plot thing in there because if you want to sit here and lie to yourself and say that you love the writing of the original Suicide Squad or the Shazam movie or Birds of Prey or Wonder Woman 84 or Black Adam or Fury of the Gods or the Flash movie or Aquaman 2, well, guess what, then? Hey, you have fun sitting there lying to yourself because that is BS. And if you had any social media, somebody can go back and look there and say, "Hey, you'd be lying." So, yeah. But hey, this is what you guys want. Like I said, my personal solution would be maybe do a co-director thing with him and Gunn, because him and Gunn have worked together in the past. Dawn of the Dead, things of that nature. They have that working relationship. Maybe find a way to bring that together so you can use this already universe that is being built where you already have a Jason Momoa as Lobo. You have a Supergirl. You have you actually have your Lanterns with Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, and Jonathan Stewart. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like, you know, you have a Mr. Terrific. To hell with Hall Girl, she was horrible. But if you want to bring this back, you know, you have fun, you know, getting Zachary Levi back, and, you know, you do your Shazam thing. Yeah, you can restore the Snyderverse all you want. This is what you're getting. You're going to be pissed off again and crying and complaining. Until then, I Run with Gunn.